two videos. One is the whole thing about like Overwatch, which legit I don't care about. They don't care about Overwatch. It's basically it looks like it's basically talking about that Relooted basically is crashing and burning right off the bat. They I I mean, I'm looking at the chart and I'm looking at the chart for it, and like it's not good. Oh yeah, it's a failure release. It peaked at 57. Let me show you the Steam chart. I'll show you the Steam chart. Hang on a second. Like, here's the Steam chart. Day 1. Like, it peaked at 57 players. That's the peak at 57 players. And it's currently at 35. And yes, no, I got how that was working. Yeah. Well, Rev put out a video about that. Rev put out a video about it if you want to see it. Did you guys want to see? It's a short video too, so it's probably not going to be like too. I don't think it's going to be too bad. It's like a 10-minute long video. So, do you want to take a look at it? Because maybe some people don't know about it. Ezra played it was everything he thought it would be. It was everything you thought it would be. Everything I thought it would be. Oh, I figured as much. I figured. All right, let's look at Rev's video because it's like. This is one I think this is just going to be. I think this is going to be laugh-worthy. I think this is not going to be. No, it is not related. And I know you're talking to Atanashi. It's not related to the one where you pick cotton to connect your ancestors. That one is South of Midnight. That's a completely different game, completely different characters. This is the one about some futurist Africans that are basically breaking into museums to steal artifacts because they're claiming because the excuse is they are reclaiming them, even though they're already in prominent displays in museums for people to learn about them. Anyway, let's look at Rev's video. It's only 10 minutes long, and I think this is going to be a lot of point and laugh. I do think it'll be a lot of point and laugh. So let's take a look. This could be a funny way to end things off, so let's go.
Hey, what's up guys, Rev here. So I'm sure most people watching this video have had their calendars marked for this day. February 10th, the release of Relooted. Now we've talked about this game before, but in case you're not familiar, here is the description. Reclaim real African artifacts from Western museums in this African futurist heist game. Recruit crew members, plan escape routes, acquire the precious cargo, and bounce out of the joint as fast as you can.
So, not only... the hilariousness of this is that you're playing black people stealing from Western museums, i.e. white people, and even though they're African, they're throwing in hood vernacular. Do you see how insane this entire idea is? You are playing black people from Africa, African futurists, that are breaking into white museums to steal things, and then you have to bounce out of the joint as fast as you can. You're not doing black people favors here. This is a game that is literally exemplified stereotypes. I don't know who thought this was a good idea, but it's fucking hilarious. What is an African futurist? Excellent question. I don't think they know either. They thought African futurists. It sounds cool and it explains why they have these really high-tech gadgets. So we're going to go with that. That's my guess. Is they said it sounds cool and it makes it sound like we're not just a bunch of common thieves. So that's basically what it is to try and distract from the fact that you are playing a thief stealing from museums. You are literally being the opposite of Indiana Jones. Okay? This is literally Uno reversing the Indiana Jones concept. It's hilarious.
Now, this game was mocked for what I will assume is unintentional racism. People are making fun of the plot here, saying it was offensive, and it got a lot of bad attention. Okay, the initial trailer from 8 months ago, 1,000 likes versus 8,200.
And by the way, yes, they were absolutely trying to basically try and make it Wakandan-esque, because look at this guy's uniform. Try and tell me this guy is not supposed to look like the Black Panther. Tell me this uniform is not somehow trying to be a Black Panther. Oh, yeah. I don't know why it didn't turn off the tail. Yeah, but tell me that they were not trying to make this guy look like the Black Panther. Hang?
Dislikes, but despite that reception,
that's why I said try it.
Games journalists were saying it was really great. You just gotta wait, okay? And then people on social media were saying this game was gonna own the chuds. And the only thing they could really celebrate about this game, at least...
Yeah. It truly represents what it means to have diversity in the games industry. I can't wait for this game. So according to Anthony Shelton, having Black people stealing from museums is what diversity is truly represented, is what truly represents diversity in games. Because you have all Black people from Africa stealing artifacts from museums. And according to Anthony Shelton, this is what diversity in games truly is. This Anthony Shelton was I wonder who is Anthony Shelton friends with on the dev team. The only way I will guarantee you, if you do any digging, Anthony Shelton is connected to someone on the dev team in some way. And that's why he published this article. It's the only way. 100% he's friends with one of the devs or friends with someone at the company. And it's like, yeah, I'll write a puff piece for you. Absolutely, I'll do you a solid.
Articles was diversity. And then in October of last year, they got into a little spat on the Steam discussion board here, where someone said, get over it. The reason Western museums have so many one-of-a-kind artifacts is because the countries they were looted from had zero respect for their historical value. And then the official developer account who created this game, Nyamakop Devs, said, got any sources for that claim with a smiley face. Many of the artifacts in Relooted were taken from thriving existing civilizations who deeply treasured them. So unless you have sources to speak to your claim in a way that relates to the artifacts in Relooted, or at least the demo, your claim is inaccurate. A lot of people saw this as...
Oh boy. So the beautiful internet autists took one look at that and went, challenge accepted. And what do you want up that one of the next posts is source. What do you want up that? Because bearing in mind, all of the artifacts in this game are African. Okay, make no mistake. Every single artifact in this game is going to be African because it is very African-centric. And it's pretty well known that in African countries that they don't have respect for the historical value of their artifacts. It's very well known. So, yeah, that's why a lot of these artifacts were taken from these third world countries, because the people residing in these third world countries would not have a respect for them and would think nothing of just destroying them and losing the history behind them. So, let's see what the internet autists had to say.
Well, them having an attitude with people questioning the plots of their game. And of course, things did not get any better. Recently, a week ago, IGN came out with a 20-minute demo with some of the voice actors kind of voicing over the initial 20 minutes of the game. And you can see, despite having 20 million subs on the IGN account, they got 14K views in 7 days. Now, I'm just going to play one part. Like, this is from the early cinematic in the game. I just want to show you what we're dealing with here, okay? Just look at the quality. Pay attention here.
And now she has to save him. He's just sent location and was like, I really need help. And look at him. He really does.
What was that?
Wow, that animation. Stellar animation. Let's see. I am African, and this just hurts. But then again, people don't like black. Okay, David, sorry, words are hard. Clarity, please. How does it affect you as being someone from Africa? God, I'm so sorry. I'm like tripping over myself right now. As being someone from Africa, how is this affecting you? How are you saying, like, why does this hurt as being someone from Africa? Like, I genuinely want your opinion on this, because this is about, effectively speaking, it's a game in reference to your people. And so I want your take. Legitimately, I want your take on this, because you're saying it hurts you, and I'm very curious how it does that. Looking up Chancey Chelsea, he's not connected to game developers, but he does love what are known as looter shooters. But this isn't a looter shooter. So, oh my goodness, I have hiccups.
And was like, I really need help. Punch. And look at him. He really does.
Wait, animation.
On earth, the quality. It's lacking just a little bit, ladies and gentlemen, but I'll just let it play in the background. I mean, this is your typical kind of parkour slop game. There's yellow paint everywhere. You're told where to go, and at least on some of the difficulties, the
parkour... Black Wolf, no, stop that. Stop that. That was not me. I was not doing a dig. That was not me challenging anybody. When I was asking David about that was not a challenge. That was not me, like, dogging on him or nothing. That was me genuinely, like, I genuinely wanted to know, how this impacts him, what his feelings are on it. I want to know his genuine feelings. I want to know what someone from that region feels about this game, and, like, this game being representative of that. It's not an attack. I'm not making fun of him. Not in any way, shape, or form. I genuinely want to know. I want to understand how people in this region feel in regards to this game. I want their actual opinion on it.
Is automated, like, it's done for you. So if you just get close to where you're supposed to go to, it does all of the parkour for you, which is pretty odd considering the parkour aspect of this game is, like, all it's got. But yeah, of course, then they...
No, Black Wolf, no, I didn't ask him to cite a source. No, I didn't ask it. No, Black Wolf, you are mistaken. Okay, hang on, David, the auto mod grabbed you. Hang on, let me fix that. Black Wolf, I think he misunderstood. I was not asking David to cite a source, because David was not proclaiming a source. David said that this hurts him, that seeing this game like this hurts him, and I wanted to know how. The citing of the source, I was talking about the game developers, not David. That son was talking. See, well, I'm not from Africa, but I'm still black and I take my heritage seriously. It shows that people want to see black people as thieves, and black people are also known to be violent, but not all black people are like that. I just wish people would stop judging based upon stereotypes. And you know what, David? That is an absolutely fair statement. So it's not as someone that's African, but it's just as someone that's black. And you're basically not liking the fact that they made this game and what people are dogging on it and basically saying that it's like perhaps unintentionally racist by actually like creating a game where black people are stealing and then throwing in like I guess hood vernacular and I get it. Correct me if I'm mistaken. If I'm misinterpreting this, please tell me. But it sounds like you're saying you don't like the fact that this is almost perpetuating a stereotype that is incorrect. Would it be fair to say that you're upset that this game came out and is effectively speaking perpetuating a stereotype that is incorrect and that is harmful to black people in general? And am I under, would that be fair in how I'm understanding what you're trying to say?
Come out with the official trailer. Okay, the launch trailer that just came out 7 hours ago to celebrate the official release. And again, Xbox on their official account with 6 million subs, pulling off 4,700 views in 7.
Okay, yeah, basically that. Okay, and David, in that respect, I get it. Yes, and I think, and to that end, David, I think that's what everybody was criticizing when this game first came out. Everybody was criticizing. In fact, when I first looked at this game, when this game first came into the light and we found out about it, one of the first things I said is this is perpetuating stereotypes because it's not like they are. And I actually postulated how this game could have worked without perpetuating a stereotype. When we first found out about this game, I said, if this was a game where they were stealing from some rich assholes I lost the fucking word. I hate this. I hate when I do this. That was pure. If this game was these African futurists stealing these artifacts from, say, like some rich assholes, like millionaire or billionaire assholes that procured these artifacts through illicit means. And they were stealing them from the rich assholes that acquired these things through the, via ill-gotten gains to return them back to their African homelands. Okay. I could have actually been fully on board with that. I would have been like, okay, that's actually a cool idea. You're going after the rich assholes that have basically received these goods through illicit means, through illegal means, and they are rich assholes, and you're taking it back to the land of where they come from. Like if they had gone that route, they would not have experienced anywhere even close to the backlash. The problem is they're stealing them from museums. That's where they fucked up, is they're stealing them from museums, and the whole purpose of the museums is to preserve these artifacts, to preserve their history, and to showcase this history to the public at large. So the public at large can learn about the history of these artifacts and enrich their minds with its history. That's the problem, is they're stealing from these museums that are already trying to do a net positive in regards to that. And therein lies the problem. So now the game comes off as basically perpetuating potentially speaking, perpetuating a stereotype instead of like doing, effectively speaking, a Robin Hood-esque kind of thing where they're breaking into the wealthy homes of of shady businessmen to reclaim the artifacts of their homeland because they were stolen by these rich wealthy assholes to begin with. That's literally that one single facet could have actually changed the game entirely. But they didn't do that, and so now they basically perpetuated this. Now the game devs perpetuated a stereotype. And that's where they fucked up.
6 million subs, pulling off 4,700 views in 7 hours. Like, that's actually insane. You can see the like to dislike ratio, still terrible. And then you go to the comments section, they're all just roasting this game. In fact, there's more comments making fun of this release trailer than there are people actually playing Relooted. This is the official mark here. As you can see, 43 in-game players on day one.
And it's less. We just saw it's less than that.
I'm a little surprised. Now, I knew this game was going to flop. Okay, don't get it twisted.
Wait.
But I thought it would at least get like 100 or 200. Okay, that's what I thought. It's also like a $15 game. So like, yeah, I thought like the games journalists and the people on Twitter, I mean, we know they don't really...
Oh, and by the way, what Reb was just saying there, hang on, we're at 427. Just as a reminder, hang on, let me find it. At launch, it's already discounted by 10%. At launch. They already knocked 10% off at launch. That's bad. That's bad when you launch a game and you're instantaneously putting a discount of some sort on it. That means that means they didn't have confidence in their game. Stop making fun of me. Meanie, don't make fun of this how I say at launch. So yeah, that tells you how little confidence they actually had in the game when they launched it.
Support the stuff they claim to care about, but I thought at least some of them would, get some money together and try this game out, but no. In fact, it looks like it peaked at 57 players. And I doubt like it's going to right ever now get past that unless they just decide to scrap this whole project and give it away for free or something. But yeah, this is an absolute disaster. This is really bad. And yes, it's on Game Pass too, by the way. So.
But by the way, notice what one of the tags is. You see at the bottom of the screen there? Notice what one of these tags are. Puzzle, which is covered up by you guys. Puzzle, action adventure, runner, heist, political. They actually have, like, this is actually tagged. Now, granted, this is through SteamDB. It is through SteamDB, so I'm not sure how the I don't know if the devs, when they launched it on Steam, actually, excuse me, I don't know if the devs actually put the political tag into it like that. But yeah, if they did, that would kill it. That would actually, hang on, let me pull up Steam real quick and see if it actually has a political tag. Hang on. Give me a second. I'll see. Yup. It does. It does. On Steam itself. Let me see. Hang on. Let me pull this up. On Steam itself. Where is it? Where's my Steam? There we go. Yeah. On Steam itself. Right here. The third tag. Political. Puzzle, action adventure, political. It's a user-defined tag. Not good. Not good if it's being tagged as political. People are going to avoid it like the plague.
So, we're always told those are the real players, right? Like, these numbers don't matter. It's who's on Game Pass, but I'm sure it's not looking too great.
Nope.
Now, one thing I saw is a lot of people comparing Relooted to Tales of Kenzera Zhao, which is a game I talked about maybe 2 years ago. And I think there's some similarities here, but there's some big differences.
I'm not sure what language
just
is
like Zhao here, Relooted has become this sort of fixture for games journalists and obnoxious people on Twitter. It's become a purity test. They say if you don't like these games, you're a racist, you're a bigot, you're alt-right, what have you. But the key difference between Relooted and Zhao here is that people actually seem to enjoy this game. And from people I know who tried it out, they said it was worth the $10 or $15 it was labeled as. They actually had some positives to take away from this. And unfortunately for Relooted, it's just awful. Okay, the forums are completely ripping this game apart. It's a buggy mess.
my
And
God.
the only positive ones that I can find, the only positive discussion posts, and people are swarming the discussion posts right now. I can't even tell if they're positive or they're trolling. Like, because that's the best they got, right? It's just like with the articles. All they could celebrate with this game is diversity. And you can see this post. The fake white outrage is delicious. And I am enjoying so much reading those fake posts about white people or so-called crusader claiming this game is racist. So rich.
Okay, and I should point out, I don't think this game is racist. Okay, if it was not made clear before, I don't think Relooted is like from what I know of this game thus far. I don't think it's racist. I think the problem that it runs into is that the devs made this game, and it's perhaps inadvertently perpetuating a racist stereotype. Like I'm going to do a benefit of the doubt here and say that the devs did not create this game with racism in mind. I'm going to benefit of that. I'm going to benefit of the doubt this. The problem is the game in and of itself, and the concept of the game of basically African individuals stealing from museums. Yeah, I think they inadvertently are doing a racism. I don't think it was intentional. I don't think they intended to do that at all. But unfortunately, I think it's ended up being inadvertently racist and perpetuating inadvertently a racist stereotype. That's the problem. So, and also the whole thing of like diversity, I don't think that's the case either. I don't think this is a case of diversity either, because Nyam Cup is an African dev. This is an African dev team. They are from Africa. It makes perfect sense that the protagonist would be African. It makes sense that the protagonist would be going, with this would be going for African artifacts. There's nothing racist about that. Not at all. I don't think this was a diversity issue. I don't think this was intentionally racist. None of that. It's an African dev team that they're looking at getting African artifacts. But the problem is they're stealing from museums. They're stealing from places specifically designed to preserve artifacts and history and educate others on these artifacts and history. So it's an inadvertent racism. I think they're inadvertently perpetuating stereotypes. Now, of course, a lot of people are just going to jump on, like, say, oh, this is DEI, this is like diversity bullshit, this is racism. And I legit don't think it is. I think that they just the way they designed the storyline optically was dumb. They didn't think about this, and they just basically said, the whole stealing from the museums thing, I don't think they thought ahead on it. And so so all of that I don't think was intentional. I think they literally just stumbled on part of the plot point. Okay, in the end, I think that's what happened. And I do think people are conflating. I do think people are conflating a lot of the facets of this to basically say, oh, it's about racism, it's about diversity. I do think there's a lot of conflation on this, realistically. And then you have basically the quote unquote white knights coming in going, oh, the fake white outrage, blah, blah, blah. And you're going to have people like this that are making it about racism. That's where it comes into play, is you will have people actually making it a racist issue or a diversity issue. When in reality, I'm gonna say it probably wasn't from the devs. I'm gonna, do a benefit here and say that I don't think they had any intention to basically do a commentary about racist. I don't think they intended to do, do like a whole, oh, it's gonna be a diverse game. I don't think there was any intention behind that whatsoever. I don't. That the political tag, by the way, that's not like something that they put into it. That was basically user generated. And my guess is the political tag is because of the perceived diversity and racism is where that user generated tag came into play.
Interesting. Here's another one saying, thank you, devs, for being DEI LGBTQI++ inclusive with rainbows here. And it says, hi, devs. On behalf of all, and as a transgender, thank you for representing the LGBTQI++ in your video game. And then this person down here says, also as a member of the LGBTQ+, we do not claim this person. Yeah, I don't know if this is real. That's the thing. Like, they're deleting all of the negative posts and banning people and all that stuff, but they're not getting rid of these ones. So I guess they're hoping these are real posts, so they have some support. And then you see this, stop hating on this game, please. The devs clearly put their love and sweat to make this. Yeah, see, that's the thing. Nobody's owed anything, okay? And you can say it's an inclusive game made by kind people. So, does that mean people have to buy it? Like, that's the biggest problem with Relooted. It had a very kind of, it's...
I have no idea what the plus is. I've stopped trying to track all of the I've stopped trying to track all of the letters in this. I don't even, whenever I refer to it, I just say LGBT. I don't do all the rest of it because all the additional add-ons after LGBT is just different versions of what just came before it. So I have no idea what the plus is. I frankly don't fucking care. It's LGBT. Everything else afterwards is just a new creative way of saying LGBT and stacking that onto it to make people feel special. That's it.
It got made fun of and people were making a lot of jokes about it, but the game itself had no juice. It had nothing to show, nothing of value. And on release, it is a buggy mess. Like I said, right now.
But by the way, did you notice what the second comment is? What word they had to throw in? Because of course they did. Because of course they had to throw this in. Again, destruction of words.
Right now, the discussion board on Steam is all just people either clowning on this or complaining about things being broken in the game. But of course, the articles haven't stopped. You can see BBC News Africa. Convenient timing coming out today saying a new video game, Relooted, sees Africans fantasize about taking back treasure from Europe's museums. It's raising awareness about African culture, African history, and sort of the scale of this cultural artifacts looting that has happened.
And herein lies the problem. Were not the European museums raising awareness about African culture and African history already? That was the purpose of them being in museums in the first place, to raise awareness about African culture and history. That's why anything is in a museum, to showcase and enrich people with the history behind the artifacts that are on display. Hence why this is a problem.
Now, ironically enough, there's people in the replies who aren't happy about this because they're saying that they're just fantasizing about taking things back. And they're like, no, they're not taking it back. It never belonged to anyone else and all these things. Like, it's never good enough. People are still mad no matter what. And people are...
Well, apparently, from what we saw, when they take back the artifacts, they just warehouse them. From what I remember from the game, screenshots that we saw when this first came out, it's like they're just they're putting them in crates and warehousing them, I think. I don't know. It's so bad because, like, the fact is, like, how many museums are there in Africa where their artifacts are displayed? Yeah, how many I'm actually legitimately curious. Hang on. How many museums are in Africa? Okay, let's see. So Africa has 900 museums. Nigeria has 52, 44 state-owned museums, 100 private-owned museums. In contrast to the United States, which boasts 35,000 museums, and Europe has 15,000 museums. And I would question how big and how effective these museums are in Africa. And how safe are they? Because don't forget, like, this is a country, we are talking about a country that is has a substantial amount of warlords that don't think twice about destroying artifacts if they get a wild hair up their ass. So, yeah. It's like, the fact is, never mind. You know what? Never mind. Let's just finish this out.
Clowning on this. That is the largest topic of conversation, is people looking at the player count. And like Paradog here saying, congratulations to the Relooted devs. Banger. Day one release. And the comments are roasting them, saying there sure are a lot of racists out there who don't want to play that game. Ha 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 ha. You just got owned, Shud. How does it feel to be on the losing side of history? So is this modern audience in the room with us right now?
God.
Yeah, unfortunately, the modern audience did what it does best, and it didn't show up. That's not showing up, ladies and gentlemen. That's what they do best, and it happened again. Relooted has been an unmitigated disaster. I don't care how small of a team produced this. The amount of resources put into this, to what we can tell, yeah, this didn't pan out very well. But anyways, that's the update, and that's going to do it for this video. As always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.
Yeah, it's not great. Yeah. It's, yeah. Again, I think if they had just adjusted what the storyline of it was, if they just had adjusted the storyline, and instead of like stealing from museums, that instead they said they were stealing from a bunch of rich people that illegally obtained them, they would have been fine. I do think they would have been fine if they went that route, but they didn't, and we see the end results because of it.